Hello, welcome to the Revoltage Podcast. Today,
Is that really the start?
What is happening?
welcome to the Revoltage. No, that is going to be the start.
No, that's not going to be the start of it. No, if we're going to do funny voices, I'm going to do my funny voice. Welcome to the Revoltage Podcast. I'm Ray. What are you doing? Why can't you do a funny voice?
Hi, we're for Revoltage Podcast.
That's disgusting.
Oh,
No, I have a friend named Doug. He's kind of an older gentleman, but he was trained in the theater. So his voice is naturally like this when he speaks. So, Kellan, Logan, thank you for having me here in Oklahoma City.
you sound like a commercial on Telemundo.
I am a commercial. I said commercial. I can't talk.
Is that in Spanish?
He's one of those commercials on Telemundo where it's all Spanish.
So
and then the
seriously,
product-
that's how we're going to start this.
Yeah.
This is how we're
Yeah.
going to start this. You sounding crazy.
And then he's like one of those Spanish commercials where everything is in Spanish and then the product is like in English. So it's like this like long
Yeah.
line of it's like Pepsi.
I wanted you to do your almost racist version of what Spanish sounds like.
I didn't-
And then how you stopped yourself.
I
'Cause
almost
This
did.
is how I was in middle school because somebody would go, hey, did I say anything? You said nothing in Spanish. You said absolutely nothing in
It
Spanish.
sounded more like a Ramones song.
Exactly.
Saying gabba
Gabba,
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 hey,
hey.
gabba wee, such a wanna.
You guys are so punk rock, man.
All right, so today we've got Ray Martinez,
Hello.
who is my coach and also a luchador wrestler and DJ and funeral guy and trivia host and
MMA announcer. You son of a
MMA
bitch.
announcer and jiu-jitsu practitioner.
That's right.
And shameless self-promoter.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Anything else? Did I miss anything there?
No, that's it for right now, and then I'll think of stuff. Can you hear me? I can't hear
You'll
me.
pick up a new profession by the
That's
end
right.
of it.
By the end of this podcast, I'm going to pick up a gig. That's what my people do. We just take jobs and steal it away from you people.
All right, and then we've got Kellan, who is my tag team partner and also my best friend.
Oh.
So, yeah. Isn't that adorable?
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Biggest
it's-
smile when you
he's-
said that.
He is a insurance thing.
That's it. That's all I am too. I'm an insurance guy.
You told me what you were on the last podcast
I did.
you were on,
I'm not gonna repeat
and
it.
I still don't know what you do.
I think he just sits in front of his monitor and just types stuff.
I do. I just make them think I'm working. I just sit there and I'm like,
Just like Barney and was it How I Met Your Mother? Just
Yeah.
sit in front of a big desk and
that's-
just type stuff.
that's
and
more or less what I do.
That's it. And maybe so for real. What's your job title? What is your job title?
I am technically my job title is I am a underwriting assistant at a I didn't want to say the name of the company.
blank.
At blank insurance firm.
They have to pay me for royalties. if we say
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they have to pay
I
to
don't
get their
want
name
them to be
mentioned.
associated with anything I say.
So is it associate underwriter?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I still don't know what that is.
I don't either.
We write the underwriters. We write the policies. So
And of course, Logan is in the adult film industry.
Yes.
I've been going strong
right.
for the last 2 years.
yeah, his
My
you may
poor
know him
name
as
is Bishop McGinnis.
I want that T-shirt. I want that T-shirt so bad.
I can
now.
probably get you a Bishop McGinnis t-shirt.
I want a Bishop
I think
McGinnis.
I can.
I want it. I want the hookup. Oh, by the way, I was very gracious to my sons, to my lily white sons, and I gave them 2 American Martinez T-shirts. So I'll post those up in case you haven't seen those.
They are super awesome.
They are
too.
super awesome.
Real quick, we did not even get 5 minutes into the podcast before Ray started
I got
shilling.
stuff to plug, man.
The last podcast we didn't get 2 minutes into the podcast without him shilling.
I got stuff to plug.
He's busy, man. He's an entrepreneur.
No,
I will say, though, they are amazing.
Now, I was told by my wrestling pal that I have to state specific websites and specific Twitter handles, and that way I can get my shit in.
Let's get it over with.
Yeah, just
All right.
all at the front.
Okay, liveeventtrivia.com, Wednesdays at Louis at 8 p.m.-ish. And, of course, if you want me at your wedding, bar mitzvah, quinceañera, or anything, that's Max GJ Tulsa. Yo hablo español. That's a couple of things I do. And also I did some MMA announcing last night. USA versus Mexico, XFN 344. But we'll get into that.
Can I just say that of all the things you do, the thing that's most impressive about that MMA thing is that purple suit.
Isn't that
you
badass,
have. Where did you
man?
even get that?
No, I got that. They sold it on Amazon of all places. No, I was a Mexican Joker. No, it's and I think the joke was is like I think the president
So you're
actually.
basically Cesar Romero.
God damn it! You're right.
Yeah,
He was a Mexican Joker. Son of a bitch. Should have dressed. I should have had the mustache and everything. I should have had my Carlos persona last night and just speak with the whole accent.
Yeah.
And the crowd was great until I spoke Spanish.
Oh, really?
No, they weren't having it, man. They weren't having it because it was literally like USA versus Mexico.
Oh,
so
God.
anytime I would drop any Spanish, and there was some Hispanic people there, but they weren't getting into it at all. It was really funny, man. It was really funny. I was like,
you had some heat with the Spanish, didn't
I
you?
know. I was just like, literally every time I say, "Hey, damas y caballeros," you can hear them go, Yeah, just like you could tell. Even if you guys go to fighttv.com and check it out, the replay with my fly purple suit. You can tell anytime that I would speak Spanish or anything else, it was really weird because usually when I'm doing stuff like that, I get, hey, I'm where everybody's into it. But as soon as I started rattling off Spanish, they're like,
And you didn't do another pro wrestling.
No. This was just straight. This was a straight up, just MMA announcer gig. Just go in there, announce the fights, hype up the crowd. It was a lot. It was a lot of fun, but you could tell they were USA all the way.
Right.
So it was a great time. Oh,
Yep.
so
Let's
what's going
take
on?
a
Hey.
little break.
No,
here.
what's going on? What's going on? Somebody's breaking into the house.
Okay,
And
so
we're back. Oh my God, that took forever.
Took a really long
we had to
time.
fight off a home invasion, but things are going good now. So, Kelbert, tell
Yeah.
us about your last match.
Yeah, so we had a match on Friday the 13th, October.
Yeah,
Friday
last
the
time I'm
13th,
ever having a match on Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
Lucky you.
We'll get there, but October, Friday the 13th, we had a match, and it was really fun. It was our Luchaween deal that we did. It was a super blast. We had a great time. I had a match with El Capitan.
Muchacho.
I'll call him Muchacho number 1. And it went really well. I mean, we just about everything that we wanted to do, we did. We did a lot of it. It's kind of the first time that, for me at least, we did a lot of it on the fly. We called almost all of it. We had kind of big spots planned, kind of an outline, but it was mostly just being distracted by this.
Ray's trying really hard to get a
He really is.
picture right now.
But it was one of the very first times that I've ever actually called like an entire match, pretty much. So
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, it was really fun, man. We had, like I said, we had some basic spots figured out, except for the end. We had the end all figured. We actually changed the end twice. And then we were back in the alley talking about it. And then we were back in the alley talking about
Blowing
it.
each other.
Yeah, for sure. We were back in the alley blowing each other and talking about our match. And then
At the same time?
Well, it was more like it's really just me listening. And then I was kind of like,
That's how it works, Greenhorn. That's how it works.
Yeah. And he was like, this is all part of it. And I was like, I don't know if I like it. But anyway, so we and then he goes, well, I think what I want to do, he goes, yeah, and I said, yeah, and then the end will be, you give me a boot and we call it a day. And he goes, no, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts. I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts. I was like, I thought we were gonna do a boot. And he was like, no, dude, we're gonna do a kick to the nuts. And I was like, okay, so you want to change the finish to a kick to the nuts? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right. I was like, I don't think that's going to go over well for you. I was like, you're the baby face, but cool, man. So we did it. And what's funny is, so I was technically the heel in that, and I was getting cheered. And by the end of it, after he kicked me in the nuts and I went down, they booed the shit out of him.
Well, no, you're adorable, and they're going to do that to a little
thank you.
panda like that.
I know. Well, and then he was supposed to come out later and help with y'all's match.
No.
But then he was like, I can't go back out there. He was like, they turned on me. I
No,
can't.
because you guys are nice looking pandas, and people like to cheer for you. Especially there was a ton of little kids at this show, at the Friday the 13th show, and they love these pandas. They love them, even though they're despicable people.
Well, and that's the thing. We found out that a lot of these little kids have been to like a bunch of the previous shows, like the past 3 shows. So
Yeah, one girl, we were talking to this
Yeah.
little girl. She was, how old was she? 8? She said
She was like
8 or 9.
She was super sweet.
She told us, and
Total
she was
sweetheart.
adorable, but she was like the biggest mark in the crowd. And it was
Oh,
awesome.
and she knew, like, she remembered us from Cinco. She remembered us from, like, all this
Wow,
stuff. She was
see?
telling us about stuff we did before.
See, what you guys do matter. Just remember that.
Well, and then she said, I know who you guys, I've seen you guys without your masks on. We're like, no.
What?
No, we go, no, that's not us. And she goes, yeah, you guys were standing over there. And we're like, no. And she's like, you had the same tattoos. I go, that's coincidence. And
It's a lot of dudes.
she was, actually what was funny is she had such a big positive just sense of everything. She was so sweet. She kept talking to us the whole time. She kept bringing us candy. She kept bringing me candy.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, I kept taking it. I was like, thank you. And I was putting it on the podium, and I was like, thank you, thank you. And then at one point she comes up and talks to me, and she goes, I had a basketball. I love this story. It was so great. She goes, I had a basketball game today, and I said, you did? She goes, yeah, we didn't win though. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. And she goes, no, it's okay. I'm used to it.
Oh my
and she
God.
was so positive and bright and.
And she had a shirt on that was like a rainbow, and it
Yeah,
said "smile."
Oh, that's
she was
adorable. So
adorable.
yeah, you guys are good guys, man.
It is
People
awesome.
like to cheer
And
us up.
I think what we're just gonna keep doing is we're just gonna keep being who we are,
No,
and
just-
then if they like us, they like us. If they don't, but it
And
seems
I-
like we get the cheers quite a bit.
No, there's a group in Shikara like that called Los Ice Creams, and they're basically
I
yeah,
know
and
Los
they're
Ice Creams.
basically like that.
Yeah.
They are what they are, but they're just dicks, and so people cheer for
Yeah.
them. They cheer for them. So I think that's the mold. I just have to find, or excuse me, Elote has to find a bigger and just more dastardly threat for the pandas and sin. But I guess so. We'll let everybody know that in time. So. I had a great match.
I did not have a great match.
Yeah, you got your
Real
match
quick,
was.
before we jump on ours, tell the people about your.
Did I miss something?
There were some tendencies that were coming through. In your match.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
my goodness.
We had some. It was our match had a little like a homoerotic twist, for sure.
You were hitting all the demos.
We
for
were.
sure,
We
yes.
wanted to get everybody in the
Very
match. We
inclusive
really
match.
wanted everybody to feel. Well, the opening thing we thought would be really funny. We just did the test of strength in the beginning, and we milked that shit so long, and we just milked the test of strength, and then finally when we got down, I got in test of strength, and I pushed his wrists down. And
Oh, you got to describe because there's maybe not a lot of people that know.
So a test of strength is basically when one guy, you basically lock fingers, and you try to see who's stronger, and you try to push the other person's wrists over and break their wrists, like not break them, but try to break them down and try to get them lower than you. So I do, and I finally get a hold, and I get Pat down to his knees, but then Pat switches it and gets him down to, because I'm short, so then he gets me down to my knees. So then we're both on our knees, and we're face to face, and Ray plays romantic music.
Can you feel the love tonight from?
Was that what it
Yes,
was?
that's what it was, and it worked out really well.
Perfect. And then we kind of looked around, and everybody got a great reaction too. It was a wonderful reaction. And then we started like moving in like we were gonna kiss each other, and then we like got up and went like nah, and then I just started beating the crap out of him, and I meant to say, I forgot to be like, I don't like men, I don't kiss men, and then I don't suck dudes.
No, and so immediately after that, the very next spot is
Yeah,
he gets
so
whipped into the corner.
I get whipped into the corner, and Pat. Well, so I whip Pat into the corner. I get up on Pat, and I get up on the second rope, and I'm punching Pat, from the top.
No, keep in mind Pat's a lot taller.
Pat is much bigger than me, and as a matter of fact, at the beginning of the match, somebody said, Libby goes, who are you facing tonight? And I said, oh, him, and she was like, you too? I was like, yeah, it should be fun. And so at one point I get on the second rope and I'm punching him, and he grabs me by the throat. We do the choke spot.
Yeah.
And he throws me into the turnbuckle. So now I'm sitting in the turnbuckle, and then he decides that now would be a good time to get up on the second rope like I did and rub his dick in my face.
Well, I think the spot is the 10 count, right? The 10.
It was the 10 count, but it just so happened.
But right after the homoerotic test of strength, just face full of
balls
junk
in my face.
And for about 2 seconds, the entire crowd just got really uncomfortable because
It
they're
was.
like, "Is this really about? Oh, there's punches.
Yeah.
He's punching."
Yeah, well, it didn't help that.
It
Pat,
turned real weird when I started blowing him. The whole crowd turned on me.
I think that was a submission hold I wasn't expecting in that match.
Well, it was somebody. It wouldn't have been as bad because in the moment you don't even think about it. In the moment you're just like,
just slap it on.
yeah, no. In the moment I was kind of like, I remember specifically turning my head to not get junk in my face, like just being like, man, his nuts are all up in my face, and then later on, like seeing all the pictures that people had, and they're like, "Look at this! His nuts are all in your face."
And it wouldn't have been so bad if Pat didn't thrust his hips forward.
He did every time. Every time he was like hitting me with his dick. Every time it was like, "Okay, all right, Pat, big jerk."
I think you're being trolled myself.
No, it was a good everything.
No, it was a good match.
Everything
great,
after
yeah.
that went really well. I mean, we ended up doing some really cool spots and did some. I got to do my finisher, which was really fun, and that worked out really well.
Look good.
It looked really good. It felt really good. Everything went to plan. So
Yeah. It was a great match. Y'all both did really
It
good.
was fun.
And the crowd loved it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was really fun for me too, because like I said, it was the first match that I've ever that was ever called. Like it was the first match that I didn't really have. We kind of had an outline, and then everything in the middle was just Pat was like, "I got you," it was great. It was
especially
awesome.
when you have a vet like Pat that can do that and just kind of guide you through. It always helps. It always helps like that, so you can call stuff on the fly and things change.
Well, and you know, it was cool because when you're in the moment, like there was some stuff that we didn't even call, but it was like he kind of set it up for something. It was like it was there was a part where he fell on the second rope, almost like in a 619 position. He fell in the rope, and Logan was over here. I think he was trying to get your attention, because Logan was supposed to come up to him and punch him, but he didn't.
No, okay. So what happened was we kind of like mentioned like, hey, maybe we can do this or something.
Well, he said, if I go to the ropes, come to me.
Yeah. No. So he's in the ropes and he's looking at me. He's going, hit me. And I'm like, is he talking to me or is he talking to Kellan? Like, because Kellan's right behind him, and so you can't like turn around and look at him and be like, "Hey, come punch me!" Oh, you hit me! I didn't know. So I'm thinking like, hey, I think he's talking to Kellan because he's supposed to be over like the top rope is my thought. So then he keeps being like, "Hey, come hit me," and I'm like, "Oh, maybe he's talking to me." And he's like, "Come hit me," and I was like, "Oh, this is my spot."
I like the internal voice that you have during all this.
Yeah, and before that, he goes toward crowd. So he goes towards the crowd, like the hard cam side. So he goes the hard cam side, and he falls in like the 619 position. And I'm kind of standing there for a second. We don't have anything planned, and he's not moving. So I finally just went, and I couldn't tell him what I was going to do. So I finally went, all right. So I hit the ropes, and I did the the jump on the back deal, the kind of the leg to the head kind of thing, and did that. And he just went with it. And like I was like, oh, perfect. And then when he went over to the side and you didn't do your spot, I did the same spot again. I was like, well, I guess I'll just do it again. So I did it again.
Yeah.
And then Logan finally was like, then Logan
You're dropping stuff, my bad.
And then Logan finally got the fucking hint and did what he was supposed to do. But other than that, it was great, man. We pulled everything off. I did my move and then the people's elbow, and I got to Hulk up, which was real fun. Except he told me at the end, what we were going to do is we were going to do the Hulk up, but I'm short, so I can't necessarily do the boot. So he goes, okay, we're going to do the Hulk up, and you're going to do... I forgot what he told me to do. Yeah, I was going to do something else.
Something cool, right?
Something cool. I don't remember what it was, but it was going to be something cool instead of the boot. You know what I mean? And then that was going to lead into that. And then when we're back in the alley again, he goes, just do the boot. And I was like, are you sure? Oh, it was supposed to be the body slam. We were supposed to do the big onto the giant body slam.
That's right.
But we had not practiced it.
Yeah,
We
that's
had
not something you want to
No.
figure out if you can do or
we
can't do.
figured we could do it, but Pat said, let's just scratch it since we've never done it before. And we'll go ahead and just do the boot. I go, you want me to do the boot to you? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, how am I supposed to do the boot to you? And he was like, just, I don't know. He's like, get it up as high as you can. And I ended up like hitting him like in the chest.
There you go.
And he went down. He took a good bump for it, but I was like, okay.
That's all you have to do, man. That's funny.
And then he kicked me in the nuts, and the crowd turned on him super hard.
Way to go, Kellan. Damn you for being so adorable.
I know. I can't help that I'm so cute.
All right. So then shortly thereafter,
I thought it was a great match.
Yeah.
A fantastic match for Friday the 13th.
I thought it was the worst match.
Who's y'all's match?
I've ever
your
been.
heart.
Okay, can I just before you guys talk about it, can I just say I didn't know a lot about y'all's match. I didn't know.
This podcast is about to turn into a shoot, by the way.
I knew. Okay, before I got to be the mediator here. Let me just say that because this is going to turn into a shoot. I knew beforehand what the match was. Right? We had gone over the spots, especially my spots. We'd gone over the spots that for me because I was going to come in and everything.
Oh no! Hey, let me pause you right there. I also knew the match.
You did. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying
Ray.
to get to. I knew y'all's match.
Hey Ray, did you know the match?
There's two ways.
Listen,
Hold on.
I'll get
There's
into
two
that.
things.
I'll get to
Two
it.
things I didn't know. One, I didn't know you were going to do the baby oil, which was the funniest shit I have ever seen. That made me laugh. So you were a slippery bitch too, because there was a point where I came up and grabbed you
Yeah.
and was like, it just slipped off your shoulder.
If you guys weren't there, part of the gimmick with Carlos, I wear this super bright, like
Very pink.
psychedelic pink singlet,
It's
I
disgusting.
So hot.
and it's
Disgusting.
And it's very form fitting even for a singlet, it's form fitting.
I just keep
So
saying
I
that.
asked my buddy's wife to oil me down right.
He looked like he had pants full of
Was
mashed
that-
potatoes.
Well, that was for the upcoming
And I
gimmick.
forgot he had the sock too, and that's what the best part was. I was like, Jesus, Ray.
No, that was messed up because I had another pair of underwear and I
Now-
switched out and it was a little bit more
Ti-
tighter in there.
Time out. Was that Bill's wife?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
Bill's wife,
All
and
right.
I
What a
asked her-
trooper.
I know, and I go, hey, is it all right if you can go ahead and oil me up? And she goes, yeah. So I figured because I didn't tell either one of them that this was coming up. It was
Did
just
he not
something
tell you either?
No, I don't think I did.
I think
Because that,
you hinted at it.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
I
I
think
had-
you said you were going to do like a big setup.
dude,
And
I
then
had to turn around from the crowd because I was laughing so hard. I thought it was the funniest shit in the world.
I of course I had my bronzer that I had going on, and then she just covers me with all this baby oil.
Which, by the way, you ended up looking so jacked. Like
Dude,
you were
just a
huge.
little bit of baby
Swole up,
oil
I'm telling
just
you.
does it, man. That's the trick, man.
You were
Just
so
get a little bit.
oiled and great.
It was.
Anybody else getting
No, I
shoved?
love the pictures James took. By the way, loved all the pictures,
yeah.
especially
Yeah,
that
it's
one
great.
picture that I show with all my guy friends now.
Hey, let's shill that James Harbor.
James Harper.
Oh,
Womp, womp.
Yeah, thanks, Kellan.
Let's,
Anyway,
let's
so
pour one out for.
So this is what it
James
was.
here.
In my
One out for
defense,
James.
there is a spot where he should have thrown me in the corner.
no.
Now listen.
I'm going to
listen.
interrupt already.
No. And I see what it is
Okay.
because there is a spot. And well, this is the spot because this is where we're leading up to the disaster.
I'm just waiting for this. I'm just.
Okay, no, go
I
ahead.
just can't wait to hear
You were
this
supposed
explanation.
to throw me to the opposite corner. I was going to feed out for a big boot, and then you get the weapon. You totally missed that. You put me into the corner and then asked for the weapon. So I couldn't remember. You put me out
I
of
think
position.
the big boot was later.
No, that was right then. It was right when you got the weapon. Because remember, that's the only reason that I was going to be down, because you're going to talk to Kellan. Aha! See?
You know what? He might be right.
I am
because
right.
You were supposed to be on the other side.
Yeah, I was supposed to be on the other side. So I'm in my head, I'm like, no, I'm not in the right spot. So I'm doing it
Logan
on the,
fucked up.
I'm on the
Dang.
fly thinking,
You
oh,
could have told
shit.
me this before the podcast.
No, I wanted to
wanted
catch
to
you
call you
dead
out
to
on
rights,
your
you son of a
bullshit.
bitch. So that's why I was like, no, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure it out. I was like, no, I'm supposed to be on the opposite side. Because
Yeah.
maybe I could have just turned around and everything, but I was like, no, I'll Irish whip him over here. And then, friends, there's a couple of things in pro wrestling that'll keep you safe. If you ever decide to make it as a hobby, a profession, two things: tuck your chin and turn your face. And I know things happen real quick. Things, get heated up, might forget it, but it's called muscle memory. So when a flying Mexican comes straight at you,
You are to
turn your face. And unfortunately, because I do feel bad. I honestly feel bad. I never want to wrestle anybody that gets legitimately hurt because of me and everything else. And I did feel bad. But still, because I remember feeling the knock, but I thought we knocked like head to head, not
So
giant nose to head.
So just to clarify, Ray is talking about the portion of the match in which he broke Logan's nose.
That sounds so bad.
Where he went and did it was like a shoulder, right? Like an elbow,
it's like a
like a European uppercut kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like he gave him like a shoulder to the turnbuckle, and Logan's taller, and he was kind of hunched down on the turnbuckle
like an asshole.
like an asshole, and Ray came in real hot.
Oh, he get real
So
hot.
here's what happened. So the reason I got stuck. So we start calling this stuff, and we're whipping and stuff and doing all off script. So I will admit it is my bad because I did totally forget that you were supposed to be on the opposite side. So I will give you that. But in my defense,
But here's how you fucked up still.
So every single time that we've ever done the corner spots like that,
Yeah.
you'd always whip me and you'd run to the other corner and sell it real big and then come in.
Yeah.
No, you did it real fast.
So
Yeah,
when
I
you
know.
whip me, you follow straight up with it. So I hit and I'm like, okay, I need to play it up like, oh, I'm in the corner and kind of set up here and see what he's gonna do.
No, he just followed
So
it.
I hit and I'm like kind of like looking down, and as soon as I look up, I just see you there, and I'm like, oh man,
Tiny Mexican feet.
yeah. And if you watch, I turn my head, but it is not until
You did.
It is like the exact moment that I get hit.
It's not till
I take
after-
a headbutt right in the face.
So here's what's funny about it. So I watched the match. The match was great. Everything ended up being really good. It was a great match. You guys had an
No,
awesome match.
it's solid, man.
It was really fun, and it was a really fun match. And we get back to it. Always seems with you that every time I'm like, we get back, like whether it's and it's always you too, because whether it's the fucking backstabber or whether it's something, it's like me going back, going, man, that's an awesome match, and then Logan giving me some sort of bad news about something that just occurred to him. Because Logan takes his mask off, and immediately I know his nose is broken. It's not crooked or anything, but you can just tell it's
swelled up
it's
and
already
black.
swelled up and black, and it's already broke. And I go, I think you broke your nose. And he goes, did I? And like he goes, yeah, I felt that. And then I go to Ray later on, a little bit later. I'm like, hey man, I think you might have broke Logan's nose. And he goes, with my head. And I go, what? I said, I didn't know what it was. He goes, yeah. He goes, I felt it. He goes, I went up and hit him in the corner. And he goes, and my head just nailed something real hard. He goes, now we know what it was.
Dude, it was brutal. So
like I said, it was great. Except for that little unfortunate incident, because by the time we had our match, it was nothing but adults.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
nothing but adults, which was awesome.
It was
and,
fun.
And stuff
It was
like
fun.
that, because we did some other thing. I think I got whipped in the corner after I got stomped on you, and I literally flipped Logan off.
yeah,
That was the best. And not only that, there was another part that cracked me up where I think we had a lot of fun with y'all's
Oh, yeah,
match,
yeah.
because like we said, all the kids were gone. Like with my match, it was a ton of kids.
Oh, yeah, a ton of kids.
And with y'all's match, there was like no kids. And at one point, Logan had Ray up in the ropes, and I was like punching Ray on the outside, and Frank was trying to get me off of him and stuff. And I hit Frank I hit you on the outside, and then Ray like starts yelling. He goes, "Your fat mom blows me," and I like had to walk around because I was laughing so hard. And I told him later, I was like, "Dude, your fat mom blows me, broke me." That made me laugh because I feel like we were just trying to make each other laugh the whole time.
Every time that I would stop and just have a chance to just bants with you guys with that, especially in that corner spot right before the modified sleeper, where you guys are just kind of just laying on me, just talking and shaking hands.
Oh, that was
Dude,
fun.
that was a blast. So what's funny is Frank didn't know
That wasn't
anything
planned.
about
We didn't
that.
even know that was
so
supposed to-
the idea was that I was just gonna like sit up on top and just like talk trash and just do whatever. And then Frank jumps up and we're just like, oh hey Frank. And we
So we
just
just
like
went with
shaking
it.
his hand and just asking how
the
he's
best
doing.
part was Ray going like, "I can hear you guys." Ray's like, "I'm lit. I'm hearing," and we just start punching him. Like every time he would talk, we would just start hitting him on the back, and then we were like,
that went well. Like I said, that all the match that we did was solid. Even some of the new stuff, the up and over and everything.
"Oh,
else.
that was
It went-
great. That looked
and,
so good."
Hopefully, you'll get it from your friends so we can post it, and you guys can check it out. Because I thought, as far as besides Logan's dumb nose getting broken,
Big fat Gonzo nose getting broken.
Candy cane nose, you son of a bitch, matches your dick.
Candy cane
Wait,
dick
can
and a
we-
candy cane nose.
Wait. We should. We're not gonna get to talk about the pay per view, are we? I
No,
think
we will. I think
sure?
we have time.
We'll blast through the pay-per-view.
Oh, is it already? Well, you know what? Who gives a shit about the pre-show?
Is it Elias? on
It'll
the-
take a
No,
while.
the pre-show is like not even.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure, because it is weird that we talk about our predictions like 3 days after.
Yeah.
No. So the pre-show, we'll get back to that in a second. But the pre-show is like, it's like Sasha Banks and
Sasha.
Alicia Fox, and then it's a lot of cruiserweight stuff.
Okay.
So
okay,
I think
well,
we're good.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
And we'll wrap it up pretty quick
Okay,
too.
so I just want to make sure that you guys don't have viral meningitis at this table, right? Just want to make sure.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Mine cleared up a few hours ago.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I don't want to join that club.
Is
Jeez.
that the same thing as gonorrhea?
No.
Oh, then we're good. We are good.
So I will say this: our match was amazing, and
Yeah,
even
it's
though
fun.
I like to give you shit for breaking my nose, then we're not saying like, "Oh, my nose hurt." Like I actually
It just seems like every time y'all are in a room together or in a ring together, Ray is always hurting you.
I'm an abusive dad. That's all there is to it. Why you let me do this to you?
Like I have Pat, who's just so gentle. Actually, I'll say this thing about Pat though. Pat, where Ray can work a little, not stiff. I won't say stiff. Snug. Sim works pretty snug. He works pretty. You got to feel for it, kind of in the match where he does work. He does do some stuff pretty hard, not in a bad way, but in.
Oh, I don't mind. Yeah.
No, it's great because there is that aggressiveness there.
Yeah,
which
it
is
looks
great.
good.
And me and Pat had the same kind of thing. And Pat has this ability. He's gentle, but he works very snug.
Oh, no.
Like, he'll do things enough to where it's like...
His clotheslines will knock the shit out of you.
Dude.
Oh, yeah.
And at one point, when we were in the turnbuckles, and and I knew something was happening. I knew something was going to happen because he kept doing this move to me. Again, this is the first match I've ever called, so I didn't know what was going to happen. He throws me in the turnbuckle, and he comes up, and he's talking to the crowd, and he just pushes my head like this. And he just pushes my head to the side. And I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just going to keep my head turned. And he pushes my head to the side and gives me just this, like, body, bam, like, to the... And I was just
check.
like, like a body
You know
check.
what? I've taken those from him. I will take his any day over yours.
What?
You suck.
Here's the deal.
No.
Pat-
No, I'm backing you up. You're suck.
The way Pat hits it
Suck.
it's
all side.
It's all side.
It's all side.
But you're just so bony. It's like,
No, here's the thing. When Pat hits it, it's all side. It's all ribs.
Get a lot of beef.
It's all lats and it's all side of beef. That's all it is. With you do it like with this. So it's all like shoulder back kind of, and you come full steam, and you're like, and every time you do it, you did it to me one time in Brandon's ring, dude, and I was like, I was caught off guard. I was like, and then he comes again, and I put a knee out. I was like, I did not want to take another one.
yeah. It's rough, man.
Big wusses.
But hey, I'll say this: I love it though, because especially something I was working on in this match was trying to get my intensity up a little bit, because I feel like sometimes I'm a little too chill, yeah, and it's like I don't sell the fact that it's like it's a match,
and your match was really aggressive, man.
Yeah.
I think that was what's great, and I think that what's great about you working with you is you bring that out, because it's like when me and you had that match, or we had that match in June, and then me and him just started throttling each other at one point. It felt good, and it's like you're not doing it to be a dick, you're doing it to just make it look good and feel good.
And something that looked really good was our hope spot.
That's it.
Just the pacing of everything there. It's one of my favorite spots that I've ever worked with. And it's just so funny because we synced it up so perfectly where we both hit each other right in the nuts. Which right afterwards, by the way, when I watch this, it like makes my stomach sick because I'm like, I know how bad my nose hurts now. Yeah. At the time, I was like full of adrenaline, so I was just like, just go.
We even said that too. We were like, once your adrenaline goes down, shit's gonna kill.
Yeah, but right after that is when you did the sock.
Yes.
So I have a broken nose.
You're just rubbing it in your face.
And you grab it and you take that sock and just smear it all over
Mexican
my
dick
face.
sock right in your broken nose.
Dude. I'm so glad
I don't think I did
adrenaline.
it that hard either. I guess it didn't matter because it's already broken.
Right.
So.
Well, and like, so I didn't feel it at the time, but when I go back and watch it, I just cringe.
Yeah, I was gonna. I know because I've taken the cock sock as well. So
just kind of finishing that up when I took because shortly after that I took that top rope bump and I took it once when we practiced. And
you about fucked up.
And then I did it and I watched it again. I did the rotation. It just hurt like a motherfucker and it threw me off for the next 3 moves.
Well, you said it. You didn't get good turn on it.
Well, no, because I felt my back snap a little bit, but I think it's just from just taking the move. And I didn't get the full. I got maybe a little bit too tight, where it just kind of I didn't land flat enough. But the whole thing, and you give me shit for telekinesis or whatever. Those next 3 moves, I was just kind of out of it.
Hey,
like,
the reason I give you shit for telekinesis is because in my first match, you gave me fucking shit for
somebody
telekinesis.
tattled on me. You didn't even know. Somebody tattled on me.
Once I saw, somebody did tattle.
I did. Somebody straight up tattled on me.
But then I saw the video
Snitches
and heard
get
somebody
stitches.
say it, and then was like, "That son of a bitch! You could have sold it a little bit."
I just thought it was funny.
Well, I should have called it out though. I should be like, "What was that telekinesis? Fucking."
Exactly.
No,
But here, that bump you took off the third rope, that was insane.
That
Because
was insane.
That's what
in practice, from my perspective, I was, I'm on the mat, so I kick the rope and I roll out.
Yeah.
And so when I'm rolling out, I'm seeing this just from like literally the mat's point of view, with my face all the way down on the mat. And so I'm like watching you, and I just see your body just like fall from the heavens, just flat as a pancake. And this is in practice, and so you're just like, yeah, that sucked. Like that was not a fun.
It's such a hard bump in that tiny ring. It's just so unforgiving. And I guess I just wasn't ready for it mentally during that match because I had my hyped up, but afterwards I was like, oh my God, I was totally out of it. And that's why I sucked so bad on those last couple of moves, man, because I don't think I finished your guys' double team spot, jacked up yours because my body was just like, what are you doing? Oh man. That rarely ever happens. Usually I'm pretty knocked out, but I think my whole body was just out of whack and just didn't want to.
How are you feeling now? I mean, are you still feeling it?
I'm fine. It's just like that whole 5 minutes afterwards, I'm just like, oh shit.
That's the most brutal bump I've seen in that ring.
And because there's not too many people, and for good reason, they don't bump from the top rope there.
Yeah, you do that in a full size ring, and it's not. So bad
it's not so bad at all. And I've taken that bump before, and it's not bad whatsoever. But just taking it in that tight little ring where it doesn't have any kind of give.
You might as well be doing it on a floor.
Exactly.
I mean, that ring is not forgiving.
Like a clothesline can hurt in that ring.
The biggest bump I've taken, not in that ring, but the biggest bump I've taken was when I took that. In practice, I took that pump handle from Pat.
Oh yeah, that's scary.
That's the biggest bump I've taken. And I wanted to try it and feel a big bump like that. It sucked. It didn't feel good. And he wanted to do that in the little ring, and I'm like, I don't. And actually, it was Pat that said, "Yeah, let's not do that." Like Pat even said, Pat's like, "Let's not."
And since he almost murdered me in June.
Well, yeah. Well, what was funny was that was also I was going to say too, because you guys talked about your double nut shot deal. That was the first match I've ever taken a kick to the nuts, and Pat goes, "All right, I'm going to kick you in the nuts." I was like, "I've never taken a kick to the nuts." And he's like, "It's okay." He's like, "I was like, so do I need to like pinch my knees together or something?" He goes, no. He was like, spread them as wide as you can. And I was like, what? He's like, spread your legs as wide as you can. I was like, why? He's like, I'm going to kick you in the asshole. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah, dude. He's like, I'm going to kick you in the asshole. And he's like, well, like taint asshole kind of area.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. He's like, just do it. You'll be fine. And I was like, all right. So we did it. Sure enough, dude gives me a good old kick to the beehole. And then he's like, and later on, he's like, how'd it feel? I was like, not bad. He goes, did it get your nuts? I go, no. He goes, all asshole, right? I was like, yeah.
Actually, when he said, how'd it feel? Kellan was like, dude, I loved that so much.
I did.
He was like, how much does it cost for you to come over and do that on a Saturday night?
What would it take for you to get something like in there?
Jeez, so much for family-friendly podcast this time. We weren't this filthy last time. No, cool. But just to let everybody know, it's a lotte. It's going to be the day before Thanksgiving. It's going to be, it looks like November 22nd around 8 p.m.
I can't make it. I forgot to tell you.
What?
Yeah.
He's lying.
I'm lying.
Are you lying?
We're going to kidnap him if he can't make it.
No, there's a lot of special stuff going on.
No, I'll be there. It'll be fun.
I need to have you bump like 15 times in that ring. Oh, by the way.
Yep, and I'm on a 6 to 8 weeks no contact list.
It's still,
is that
legit?
Yeah, it's legit. I mean, he said.
You?
Yeah.
Are you for real?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so there then. That'll be fun as hell.
It's going to be more baby oil and extra gay.
Extra gay.
And so many broken bones.
Oh my God, so many.
Hey, you know what? You think his wife's hard to deal with. You break any of my bones, you're going to deal with mine.
Oh, yeah, let's just talk about that. I forgot what, anyway, Kay, we'll just call her Kay.
Kristen.
No.
Not Kirsten, Kristen.
Oh, okay, I wasn't going to use her name because it's funnier that way, but way to kill comedy, guys. Anyway, after the match.
Muchacha?
Muchacha.
Exactly. Numero uno.
You can edit that out, right?
So she comes after me, and at this point, I don't know if she's serious. I don't know what's going on.
Because you don't really know her all that well at this point.
No, because I think, for her being your wife niece, she's pretty quiet most of the time.
Wife niece.
She's pretty quiet most of the time,
And she's petite. She's
a tiny
cute little girl.
Tiny little girl. And she comes roaring up to me like with a purpose, and she goes, "Well, he had surgery, blah 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 blah," and that's all I hear afterwards. And then, according to her, I say, I took most of the bumps and just made her feel bad, and she started crying or something. I don't know if that's
Did
true.
not start crying.
She knows.
But the best part about it is we were talking about it earlier, like she comes in and Logan takes his mask off and they hadn't talked about it yet. Like he was like talking to her out in the crowd and was like, yeah, I think I broke my nose.
And she was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah,
She doesn't talk like that, dude.
She was like,
serious?
"Are you serious?
Are you
I cannot
serious?
believe."
Oh my god,
you
Ray, did you really break his fucking nose? By the way, this impression is uncanny.
Oh my
God,
Ray.
Ray, did you straight up break his
That's
nose?
my husband's nose.
I cannot believe it. You
You
son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
Is she anywhere around?
Probably.
She's probably in the back there.
Good.
She's probably listening to us like these fuck. She's packing a bag.
She goes, oh,
No, she's
my
grabbing
God.
a gun.
She's grabbing weapons. No, but so she comes back and she follows us back because we told her about Logan's nose. And Logan takes his mask off and he's like, "How does it look?" And she grabs his face and goes, "Well, it looks fucking broken."
Like immediately, she didn't even have to think about it.
No, she was like,
she
"Well, it
is
looks
in the medical profession, so I'm
No,
pretty sure.
the second you took your the second I saw it, I was like, I remember I said to you, I was like, I think you broke your nose, and you go, "Did I?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, I thought so." And
I was just like, "It's not crooked, is it?" Like
he
that's all I
asked
cared
me
about.
30 times if it was crooked, and he kept saying, "I go, no, Logan, it's totally straight. It's not crooked." And he kept going, "I just don't want it to be crooked. It's not crooked.
I don't care if I break my
just
nose,
don't want
just
my
I don't want it to be
nose
crooked."
It's not crooked, but is it crooked? It's not fucking crooked. You don't have a crooked nose. It's just big and fat like it normally is."
I just have to reference Unbreakable and just call him Mr.
Mr. Glass.
Jeez. Oh my God. It's just like,
I think we're gonna change. Well, maybe he's Mr. Glass because you're Mr. Ass, and everything you do is fucking full throttle.
ass out, baby. Shoot fighter.
Shoot fighter.
Fuck yeah. Oh, damn.
Shoot
This
fighter.
is my second F-bomb on this podcast.
Nah, it's okay. I've done it a
Darn
couple
it.
times.
Try to
Bishop
keep it clean.
McGinnis, shoot fighter.
Bishop McGinnis is going to come kick your ass.
Have I said the F word yet?
Probably.
Oh, great. Now
Have
we're
I?
in trouble.
Do you-
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Oh.
Kristen just came in.
Kristen,
She seems not too happy.
Kristen, I love you. I love you. I didn't do anything. It's these naughty boys.
She has the cutest middle finger, though. It's
know.
the
It
most
is
non-intimidating.
adorable. It's so cute. Stephanie, when she gives the middle finger, and for those of you who can't see, it irritates the crap out of me, but it's funny. It's cute, but it annoys me. She gives the finger and thumb combo and puts her thumb like all the way out so it looks more like an L than anything. And I'm like, will you put that thing away? Nobody, give me a proper fuck you if you're going to do it.
I forgot. You guys look alike, right? Like you could be brother and sister, you and Stephanie?
No,
No.
they could
Really?
not look any
No.
more
Okay,
different.
I didn't know for sure.
Very different.
Because sometimes it does freak me out, and I really think that Logan and Kirsten are related. Or
Kristen,
Kirsten
God,
related.
it's not like it's hard. Jesus Christ. Love you, Kristen.
So yeah, they do look alike, and it really bothers me sometimes
That you do
that they
you?
look alike. I think they look
Who,
alike.
me and,
You
me
and Kristen.
Yes.
No.
Am I that racist? Or-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you think all white people look the same?
Actually, I take it back. We do look alike in the sense that we both have two eyes, a nose,
You
a
know
mouth,
you are the death
cheeks,
of
a
comedy.
chin.
Jeez.
And no, I don't believe you've said the F word on your own podcast.
Fuck.
Oh,
Hey, look at that. So anyway, your niece wife is adorable, and especially when she's screaming at me about your broken
Thanks,
nose.
Dad.
So,
All right. Y'all want to talk about some?
Are we gonna have time? This
WWE?
seems
Yeah,
like
we'll be
how
all
long
right.
has this
We'll be all right.
podcast been going
No,
on?
Make it
it's
quick.
okay.
Let's see if we can get this
like
done in
6,
5
It's like
minutes.
6:15 right now, and we can just run through
I
this
don't
real
think we
quick.
should do it.
Let's skip the ones that are boring.
You don't think we should do it?
I think that we should talk about the two main ones.
Okay.
Wait. First of all,
Let's-
thank God that we're not going to have Pumpkin Balor versus drag queen Bray Wyatt.
Oh my God!
I
Pumpkin
was going to be
Balor.
so mad.
Pumpkin Balor.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no, you're not, because he is.
I mean, that'd be weird if I was prettier than you.
It's like your husband's
Yeah.
so pretty.
Your husband's so pretty. My God, Logan, you're so pretty. And Kristen, you're. No.
Christy, can I take your husband out this Saturday?
Kristen, I will tell you that you are much prettier than
Kristen is trash talking
Hey,
from
what
across
if I
the room.
talked to you
We-
and said that I want 5 minutes with your husband in a wrestling ring?
Hey, I think that as far as being.
I don't, covered in 10 gallons of baby oil.
Hey, I will tell you right now, I think I'm going to use some wrestling terminology here. I'm going to say that as far as both me and Logan go, I think we both outkicked our coverage. You know what I
There you go.
mean?
You
As
guys
far
married
as
well.
the,
You
the
guys
women
married up.
we married.
But I
Oh,
just
yeah.
imagine, how long have you guys been married?
Like 17, 18 years?
Stop it. Anyway. How long you guys been married?
2 years.
Okay, so just imagine 2 years ago you're telling your future wife, oh, by the way, in the future I'm going to be wrestling a baby oiled Mexican in a mask in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he's going to break my damn nose.
The only thing that would have made that
That's
statement.
actually how I got her to say yes.
The only thing that made that would have made that statement better is midget. If that was in there, baby oiled Mexican midget.
Well, sailor, yeah, I do.
When are we gonna get that in a lotte? When are we gonna get some?
Dude, they're expensive. No, you think I'm kidding. You think I'm kidding. You think I'm kidding. I've looked into it. They are a hot commodity, man. Top dollar. I don't have that budget at a lotte. I pay you guys like what, peanuts and maybe a Corona?
Hot dog and a handshake.
That's right. So we're talking about little people in a wrestling ring? No, that's some serious cash. Some serious cash.
Apparently, they make really good money.
No, because it's a novelty, dude.
It's
something that's-
exploitation. Is what it is.
Hey, you know what? They make a hard living, dude.
It's true.
All right, so first match is Sasha and.
Well, that's pre-show. I mean, if we can go with that real fast. No, we'll go through. We go through the pre-show real fast.
Let's just say who it is, and we want to give it back.
So Sasha and Alicia.
I'm gonna say Alicia.
Sasha.
I don't even know who she is. So
Sasha.
I like her
You
name
don't know
better.
Alicia Fox?
No, dude.
You would hate her.
Oh, then I'm
You'd
gonna
hate
say Sasha.
Just because her new little persona she's got, I can't stand.
I like
anyway,
the screaming, though.
I hate that.
It's awesome.
And then Cedric Alexander, Rick Swann, Jack Gallagher, and Brian Kendrick. That'll be a good match. Just because
It'll be
I
solid.
don't think I know any of those.
Nobody will pay attention, but it'll be solid.
it'll be a great match. It's cruiserweights that are awesome at what they do,
who's
but
gonna
nobody
win
gives a damn.
Just say who it is.
Well, it's
the
Cedric.
British guy.
Well, it's Cedric Alexander and Rick Swann versus Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick.
I
So
think they're
I'll
going to
say-
give it to the heels on this one.
Yeah, it'll probably be Kendrick and Gallagher.
Okay, cool. Next,
And then the cruiserweight championship, Kalisto versus Enzo.
Is that on the pre-show?
Enzo has to get it back.
I don't know if it's on the pre-show or not.
Okay.
Enzo has to win it. He has
That
to
would
win
be
it back,
crazy.
yeah.
I think you're right, though. I think they just...
Yeah, they'll probably get back to it.
No,
It's the
because
only time
all-
anyone's ever paid attention to the cruiserweights.
Yeah, and it's...
He'll win dirty. He'll do something again.
I hope
Okay
so.
with that.
I really hope so, just because I think those guys definitely need the spotlight on them because they're doing a lot of stuff. And if we need somebody like Enzo to do it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then, you know...
Hey, remember that time I said that was going to happen? Like two
both-
podcasts ago?
We both said that.
But I was like, I think they're going to send him to 205 Live. And sure enough, here he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
I
was
wasn't
after
wrong.
the fact, right?
No. No.
What?
What?
Talk about that afterwards?
No.
We'll check the tape.
Why
We'll
would
check
I
the tape.
say? Why would I say? I think they're going to send it to
I think it was
205
the
Live
one-
after
I
they
think
went
it
to
was the one-
205
I think it was
Live.
one me and you weren't doing.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
But
so,
yeah, it was definitely before it happened, and sure enough,
by the way, this is not a big card. This is a a small card
It's
because
such crazy
because
stuff
it's so
leading up
stacked.
to this, man.
There's just not a lot. So next, so we have the cruiserweight championship. So Enzo probably, and then next is the debut of Asuka.
That's gonna. I really
Yeah.
hope they treat her well and not just kind of dump her like they've been doing to a lot of NXT talent up in the main roster. Man, it just sucks.
Kind of like they've been doing to Shinsuke, man.
Oh,
I mean,
it's just a
I feel like the
freaking
dude's just
climb,
got
man.
such
And that's
a
why
bad
I can't
deal.
believe they're.
I talked to
treating
my
Shinsuke
international
like that.
podcast partner about this, and we're both wondering if it's going to happen and hope it doesn't happen. You know, because I got connections to the international podcasting world.
Yeah, that's
and,
like the
and
do
I
you?
don't like to brag or anything.
I've never heard
doesn't
that
seem
before.
like you
Yeah,
do.
so just saying, but you know, we both have our high hopes for that. But it's still they're gonna showcase her. It's gonna be 80-20.
And it's Emma, dude. She'll get, I mean, I like Emma, but she's a jobber. I mean, that's just what she's.
And that's what she's there to make her look good because they've had good matches. They've had good matches.
Next, I'm actually really, really, really interested in this, and I hope it goes kind of the way I want it to go. So it's the Women's Championship, and it's Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James.
Oh,
And I really want them to give it to Mickie James. I don't know if they will. I don't know. But the story they've been building is really good.
I liked it.
Is Mickie James going to be around for a while though, or
That's the thing.
she's
Probably
been around forever.
not.
Yeah.
But if she wins this, it'll be her 7th women's championship. So I think maybe if this is her go out, maybe they get her go out on top. Maybe she goes out
And just that
loses-
final run. And
Yeah,
stuff.
you know what I'm saying? Like brings her back. You know, she does really well, and then loses it again, maybe at Survivor Series
I don't think they'd pull it at. Man, I don't know.
or somewhere.
I really think they're gonna stay with the status quo just because with all the stuff
Yeah.
going down this week.
That's
they don't
true.
want. Yeah.
That's
what
just
if they
crazy.
just have her lick her fingers again and then they just fire her? And that's how they send her off into the
Probably
sunset.
what they would do, because she's actually super talented. She's
Oh,
really
yeah, no,
talented.
no, no,
She's
I like
very good. She's
It's weird to me, maybe just because I'm old, that she's considered old in that world. What, she's like
only
36?
No, she's like 40.
No, is she 40? I thought she was like 36. My wrestling age is 35.
Yeah, but compared to all the women that are there
Yeah,
now,
that's true.
none of them are. They might be in their 30s,
Yeah.
maybe, but
okay.
So I want Mickie James to win.
Yeah, but it'll be Alexa.
It'll probably be Alexa, but I would
love
like
Alexa.
Mickie James to win. Oh, I
She's
love
awesome.
her.
She's
She's
awesome,
my
man.
girlfriend. She's my
Or as they like to call her, biscuit butt.
biscuit butt. That's what Mickie James calls
Yeah,
her. Oh,
the
biscuit
crowd.
butt.
Apparently, the crowd searched.
Yeah, I know.
They did. They were
Biscuit
like,
butt.
biscuit butt. It was great. Remember, I texted you guys about it. The second it happened, I was like, dude, this
I'm
was
telling
fucking
you,
hilarious.
anything to get elevated, Mickie James did it with that just a dumb little saying.
Yeah.
Who knows if it was her or one of the writers, but man, it got over quick. What the hell?
Well, and next is
What just happened?
Well, and next is a one I think we're all really excited for is Finn Balor versus AJ Styles,
Oh yes.
which I think will be super
I
good.
wish it was regular Finn.
And
Not
it's
not
gonna be
Demon
regular Finn. Why would he come
No,
out?
no, it's gonna be
It's
the
gonna be
demon.
Demon.
No!
Yeah.
Why?
Because he was billed as a
Because he was
demon.
billed as the demon.
I think-
No, I bet she's gonna come out.
No,
Regular.
it says the demon Finn Balor versus AJ Styles, and
Yeah.
they
It
might
doesn't
keep
make
it.
any
They
sense.
might keep it regular, but either way, it's gonna be a great match.
That doesn't make any sense.
I think they're gonna do it just because people paid to come see Demon Finn Balor, and
No,
I think
they-
to switch him.
But they're not gonna do pumpkin like Finn Balor, right?
Pumpkin Balor.
They might do the Great Pumpkin Balor.
The great, oh, there you go.
I imagine because it's a Raw show, they'll give it to Finn.
I say Finn. AJ has room to lose.
yeah.
I think AJ because he's not
He's not tied in.
because he's not tied in. He's an SD Live guy. I think that they.
And I'm sorry, I mean.
No, I just think that they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, this is what I hope, that it's no contest and something crazy happens at the end where both of them don't pick up a loss or either a win or a loss. Something's gonna happen that's special.
That'd be cool if like Anderson Gallows come out.
Something stupid
and,
like that,
something
you know,
like that,
just like
yeah.
that way it kind of protects them both and
Yeah.
stuff. Even though right now Finn Balor would probably take a loss more than I don't know.
But
It's just
that'd
weird.
be good though. That'd be cool though. If the Good Brothers come out. And,
Yeah.
and
You and the Good Brothers, man.
I love them, dude. I love them.
I think
Why do you not? Do you not like?
They're okay.
I love them.
They're
I
okay.
love them
I
just because
didn't-
I know them. Kind of, I know them just because in Japan they were kick ass.
that's what I was
Oh,
about
yeah,
to say.
they were.
I didn't care anything about him until I saw him and
Did you
how
see
they
him
were in Japan.
Oh,
Dude, yeah.
dude.
I will say this: you're criminally underused in the WWE right
Big
now.
time because they're so talented, and this is like Gallows' like third or fourth run in the WWE,
Yeah.
and this is his best run so far because in Japan, dude, they were just monsters. They
Yeah.
were so good.
Well, and they were like legitimate threats. Like
Oh, yeah.
if they were outside the ring,
Well, they were
there was something was
No,
going to
they
happen.
had an element of danger.
well,
with
they were
them
the,
with
they were the
whole-
champs for a while there, I think.
Maybe, I
think.
But
don't know.
now it's just like kind of getting lost. in
Well,
the
but
shuffle.
now
Yeah.
now they got this kind of comedy thing going, which is really funny with the whole like nerds and like and
That's awesome.
Anderson doing the the Chad Too Bad thing.
Is that what? Okay, that's right. We talked about that earlier.
And
That's
then
awesome.
lastly is the tables, ladders, and chairs match with Kurt Angle, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins versus The Miz, Sheamus, Cesaro, Braun Strowman, and Kane.
I think
Wow.
in one corner there's going to be a petri dish of viral meningitis.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you really undersold Kurt Angle being in that.
I know,
by the
it's
way.
just like-
Okay,
Like,
sorry.
I
Hold on.
just
Sorry,
breezed
sorry,
right
guys.
over that.
Well, I know because I wanted to. Okay, let's. All right, let me do it again. Okay, so this match is Kurt Angle, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins. And
You
Man, that's gotta suck. The whole
bam, bam,
basic.
bam, 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 bam.
The whole podcast, or not the whole podcast, but the whole pay per view built around the Shield coming together, and they don't come together.
What are the chances?
I know.
And
So
that's how you
that's-
know it's got to be
so, okay,
real.
so-
That's how you know it's not a work
and
because
that's what me and Logan were talking about earlier is that people were bitching because they're like, well, if you're gonna bring Angle back and you're gonna bring Finn Balor versus AJ Styles and AJ's on a different thing, then you need to do that on a big pay-per-view. And it's like, no. If you have a pay-per-view that's billed with the Shield
Yeah, that's
reunion,
the only thing that you can do.
then you have to do something big. You have to do something just as big. So what's as big as the Shield coming back together? Kurt Angle being in a WWE ring.
No, and I was listening to this other podcast where they're talking about they were worried about Kurt because this is the tables, ladders, and chair
Yeah.
match.
this is not just
It's not a regular match.
It's not. But Kurt's still in really good shape, and he's still been. And he had his last match like 3 months ago or 4 months ago.
Plus, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but he actually won a gold medal with a
What?
broken
No,
Hey,
wait.
do you know what?
Freaking neck.
I don't know if you've watched the Kurt Angle deal on WWE Network.
What's happening?
Kurt Angle alert.
No, on the WWE Network, but he's broken his neck like 3 times.
Yeah.
It's not just the once. He's broken his leg.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
broken his neck like
Logan's
3 times.
broken his nose once.
Yeah.
So what?
He's got a worse neck than you do, dude.
Man, like a stack of dimes.
No, and that's what the
Drop
thing.
you on the stack of dimes you call a neck.
So I wonder how much stuff that he's gonna actually do in that match.
You know, I don't know if he'll do too much of the. You know what? As far as what I've heard and seen, the dude can still go.
Yeah.
And he can still go good. And knowing
Well,
him,
he had that match with what's his name, Cody Rhodes.
yeah,
didn't he?
Cody Rhodes
Like
in
3 months
for
ago.
like 4 or 5 months ago. It was with WCBW.
So was he gonna be in Survivor Series and they just kind of bumped it up?
I don't know
or
if he
what
was going to
the
do
deal?
Survivor Series or WrestleMania. He
WrestleMania.
was definitely going to come back
But he was
soon.
getting ready to be.
And I think they were starting to build that up. But because I think they had to push that up because of Roman Reigns, because the Shield was such a big deal.
Yeah.
That
And they've been working on that for
well, and they brought back
weeks and
Kane
weeks.
for it.
Do you think
and they
Daniel
brought-
Bryan's sitting in the corner pouting?
Probably-
like, why can't it be me?
Probably because
Why can't it be
you know
me?
what? And this can be a little side note here, but you know, they did do a thing with Daniel Bryan this past with Sami Zayn and,
Yeah, I saw that.
and Kevin Owens when they talked shit to Daniel Bryan about how he can't go anymore, and blah blah blah. And they said some brutal shit, and that's not the
Yeah.
first time somebody said stuff like that to
Yeah.
him. And I think it really does bug him because he was such a wrestler. He loves being a wrestler, and I think he's trying to get, from what I heard, from what the rumor mill is going around right
The
now.
dirt sheets.
The dirt sheets. The dirt sheets say that
It's gonna be Demon. They just showed Demon
Ah!
on the screen.
That's so
the
stupid.
be
dirt
Demon.
sheets show that, or say that it's going to be his contract's about to come up. And
Yeah.
he's been working with a lot of other doctors to see if he could get cleared to wrestle somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they're talking about maybe him going back to ROH, going back to, you know, doing some other stuff. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I think he'll probably wind up going to Japan first because they got the money to pay
Right,
him.
exactly.
And then maybe a little bit in ROH. But it'll be interesting to see because it's almost like he's just trapped in that little kennel and
Right.
he's just getting
But at
ready
the
to
same
get
time,
out.
it's like, is it worth, like, dying? Like,
Yeah.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what he loves, though, man.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Well, you know.
Die doing what you love.
By the way, I'm just thinking, like, how are they gonna like announce this or like sell this Finn Balor match with AJ? Because I just wonder if they're gonna be like, "This is a big deal, guys. I mean, we can't tell you why. Just trust us. This is a big
Well,
deal.
I think
Like,
because
just pretend like they're mortal enemies or something, because something else out there that we can't talk about."
So I think for people who know, and it's great.
Yeah.
For people who don't know,
Just enjoy this match.
that's the thing.
Okay.
Everybody loves AJ. Even people who don't know AJ before WWE. AJ is so over, right?
Yeah.
And then bringing somebody from SmackDown
Yeah.
to somebody, and people love Finn too. So bringing two people who are loved from both brands, to, even if they don't know the Bullet Club stuff, it could be, Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It'll be interesting how they sell that match within the pay-per-view because that's all they have. They can't do anything else. So.
I guarantee I know it'll happen. They'll say stuff like, these guys have worked together in the past, closely in the past, like brothers in the past, worked all over the world,
they belong
bullshit
to-
like that.
And they've both been leaders of promotions.
Yeah,
Like-
they'll say stuff like that. They'll never say
Bullet Club.
Bullet Club. You
They're
know,
members of elite
Yeah.
society.
AJ Styles is a big proponent of Balor Club or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, I'm hoping for the best.
Oh, there he is right there.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best on this pay-per-view. There's a couple of stuff that I want to see, but overall, I'm like, well, my bar. I don't know.
I think I was kind of on that kind of front
Yeah.
there, but now adding Kurt Angle at the last minute and the Balor and Styles, I think it beefed it up a little bit.
I think,
Yeah, it'll
and I thank God, and it makes this pay-per-view a whole lot better, just because it doesn't have Punk and Balor and Bray Wyatt in
Well,
drag as Sister Abigail.
And the thing is I was telling
Thank
Logan
God.
how
Thank God.
people were pissed off because they didn't put it on a bigger pay-per-view, but then other people were saying, no, the fact that they've done this saves this pay-per-view.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I absolutely
This
agree
makes
with that.
this pay-per-view
Yeah, no, definitely,
more watchable.
definitely,
Anyway,
definitely.
By the way, last thing I want to say, because I'm just looking at it on the screen. What a weird mishmash of people. We've got
I know.
We've got
Isn't that
Ambrose,
crazy?
Rollins, Kurt, Kane, Sheamus, Cesaro, The
like
Miz,
It's like a house show deal. Yeah,
First
it's like
of all,
a house show.
First of all, it's
They're
5
doing.
on 3.
I like to think it was like a lotto where they were just turning it and grabbing
Well,
balls.
Did you ever play? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, first of all, it's 5 on 3, which
Yeah.
was supposed to be the Shield. It was supposed to be like the Shield can conquer
Ah,
all.
exactly.
But now they're like, let's throw Kurt Angle into it because he's badass and maybe he can do it too. But it's going to be great. But at the same time, they're just gonna throw Kane out and be like, stay down.
Exactly.
Just stay
exactly.
down.
He's got better shit to do. Anyway, it's just crazy. No, it definitely makes the pay-per-view better that we don't have that thing going on with. I keep saying it just because I mean it's so good. So I'm like, no, I didn't want to see Pumpkin Balor and Sister Abigail as Bray Wyatt. So I'm thank goodness for that. Ugh.
It's the Halloween show.
And I'll tell you right now,
Everybody's
like
playing dress up.
even more than Kurt Angle, I think it's so weird that they've put Kane in there. It's so weird and unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's so random. Hey, does Kurt Angle walk down through the crowd and does he wear like a bulletproof vest?
They
He
won't
should
do that.
wear the shield.
They won't
stuff.
do that, but that would be funny as hell if he did. They put a wig on him and shit.
He has the greasy hair and stuff. Oh.
Well, you know what I saw? I saw something that was real funny because I don't know how well you know the Shield, but their music when they would come on, it would say Sierra Hotel,
Right.
Sierra Hotel something Indigo, and it would do that to spell out Shield.
Yeah, exactly.
But I saw a deal that said like Sierra Hotel something, and it was like and it was Kurt Angle's 3 eyes, like integrity.
That's funny.
Like when he did the 3 eyes, I forgot what they were, but
No,
That's
like
awesome.
you said, it's just a weird mismatch. It's just like when you would go to the video games and just pick whoever for your 6 eyes. Like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Throw them in there.
do a 9-on-2 match.
Exactly. But I almost dropped the F-bomb again. But no, we're gonna see how it turns out. I have high hopes now, especially with the omission of that one dumb match. So I'm looking forward to it. So I don't know about
me
you
too.
guys. Since
Yep.
I drove all the way up
Yeah.
here to Oklahoma, I would drive more than 5 minutes for a WWE show. So
Ooh, unlike somebody we know.
Yeah,
well, hey, well,
exactly.
Let's
Throwing
not call
shade.
anybody out.
Yes, sir. I want to hang out with my boys.
All right, well, let's stop talking about it and
Son
let's
of a
start
bitch.
watching.
All right, everybody,
All right.
don't forget Elote, November 22nd. My name's Ray Martinez. My Twitter handle is RayXXX, or just look under Ray Martinez on Twitter.
Who uses Twitter, by the way?
Not me.
White people.
That's for sure.
No.
I don't have a Twitter.
I can say that's false.
You
No, I
can
know.
you can
Everybody
find me
uses
on
it.
Instagram.
Oh, what's your Instagram handle?
It's Kelbert77.
Can you change that to Kelbert69 just for me?
I can give you a Kelbert.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Ew.
now
Well, if
we're
we're going to do
talking.
that, Martinez3000 on Instagram. Add me.
And mine is Proxima_Bear.
Why is it Proxima Bear?
That's a long story.
Oh,
We'd
okay.
have to have a new podcast.
Podcast. Podcast.
Why can't we have a prongcast? Why can't we do that?
All right.
Ooh,
that's it.
Prawncast?
Candy
Like with
cane
prawns?
dick.
So guys,
Bye.
But-
and on that, we're leaving.
Bye.
Ray, you gonna say bye?
Bye.